Have you ever pondered whether free will is a product of evolution? It's a fascinating question to entertain, isn't it? We often think of free will as this unique, intangible quality that sets us apart, but what if it's actually a product of our brain's ongoing efforts, akin to the workings of an evolutionary algorithm? Consider this: our minds, like diligent workers, are constantly engaged in both conscious and subconscious labor. This mental work involves the consumption of energy and making of decisions, much like the data processing of a computer running complex algorithms. In fact, the idea of our minds running a kind of evolutionary algorithms is quite striking. That may involve the generation of numerous ideas, the evaluation of these based on certain criteria, and then the selection of the best according to certain target. The already existing thoughts may be mutated, crossed over, recombined, evaluated and inherited, pretty much mimicking evolution process by natural selection. That's why they are called evolutionary algorithms and are well known within machine learning community. It may require the constant engagement of our conscious and subconscious minds, constantly sorting through an array of choices to find the optimal ones. And this process may not be just confined to the realm of decision-making. It may extend to our very consciousness and attempt to explain it. Here we are in the speculative territory, of course, as we do not even have a good definition of consciousness yet. However, every thought we have, every feeling we experience, every memory we recall, all of these may contribute to the evolution of our consciousness within our minds. And those are not static processes either. Our consciousness may be continually evolving, shaped by the choices we make, the experiences we have, and the thoughts we entertain. It's like a river, constantly flowing and changing course, shaped by the landscape it traverses. This constant engagement in mental work, this continuous evolution of our consciousness, could very well be the engine that drives free will. It's not something that's simply handed to us, fully formed and immutable. It's a dynamic, ever-changing quality shaped by the ceaseless work of our minds. So perhaps free will isn't this unique, otherworldly quality we often imagine it to be. Perhaps it's simply the result of our brains continually engaging in mental work, evolving and adapting to the world around us. Our consciousness, it seems, is an ongoing work in progress. Our struggle against entropy shapes our consciousness. This is a truth that echoes through the existence of all living beings. Whether it's a tree reaching for sunlight, a bird building its nest, or a human solving a complex mathematical problem, we are all engaged in a ceaseless battle against entropy and environmental challenges. This is our life, and it's not just physical, it's mental, emotional and spiritual. In information sense, our consciousness, that unique awareness of our own existence and surroundings, is deeply intertwined with this work. Each thought we have, each emotion we experience, each decision we make is a part of the continuous life struggle. We work to understand, to adapt, to grow, and as we do so, our consciousness evolves, expanding and deepening. Whether we're aware of it or not, our consciousness is a reflection of our continuous battle against the odds. We are workers in the grand scheme of life, and our work contributes to the evolution of not just ourselves, but of all existence. Intelligence is not a unique human trait. It is an attribute that we share with all mammals, thanks to a remarkable piece of biological architecture known as the neocortex. This layered structure is responsible for our high-level thinking, our ability to reason, to plan, to imagine. It is the seat of our intelligence. But here's a fascinating fact. The neocortex has a uniform structure across itself, and across all mammalian species. That's right, from the humble mouse to the majestic elephant, our neocortices are fundamentally alike. This suggests that similar underlying algorithms drive our intelligence. It's not so much about the structure, but rather the size that makes a difference. A larger neocortex allows for more complex processing, more sophisticated and abstract thought. So, while we share the same architectural blueprint with other mammals, our larger neocortex gives us an edge in the intelligence stakes. The difference in our intelligence lies largely in the size, not in the structure. Evolution is a very powerful concept. It is an ongoing process, a dance of trial and error, inheritance and mutation. In the natural world, it forges life in all its complex forms, shaping creatures to better navigate the challenges of their environment. But it doesn't stop there. Look at human society. Our cultures and ideas, our social structures, they too evolve. They too are products of a similar evolutionary processes. Ideas are born, tested, and either discarded or accepted. The survivors are passed on, refined, enhanced, giving rise to complex belief systems, technologies, art forms, and traditions. It's a ceaseless cycle of creation and recreation, a seemingly random yet purposeful process that yields sophisticated outcomes. And just as in nature, the strongest, most adaptable ideas and systems survive, while those that can't adapt fall by the wayside. Evolution, in essence, is a universal architect. Our thinking process is an evolutionary journey. Each day we generate a plethora of ideas. These ideas, like organisms in an ecosystem, compete for survival. Some are fleeting, others leave a lasting imprint. They're evaluated based on our experiences, beliefs, and the context in which they emerge. The ones that resonate, that prove useful, they survive. They're stored in the annals of our memory, ready to be recalled when needed. But the process doesn't end there. These ideas aren't static. They're recombined, merged with new ones, reshaped by fresh experiences. Our minds are a crucible of constant evolution, where thoughts and ideas are the raw materials. This process, this continuous generation, evaluation, and recombination of ideas is akin to the evolutionary algorithms running within a computer. It's a fascinating thought, isn't it? That our minds, the seat of our consciousness, operate in ways similar to machines. We may be, in essence, computers running evolutionary algorithms. Do evolutionary processes possess free will? It's a question that pulls us to the intersection of science and philosophy. Evolutionary processes, while they follow certain rules, are not deterministic. They don't generate the same outcomes every time, even under identical initial conditions. This is because they involve a complex interplay of choices and environmental influences, and some random mutations here and there. This is where the concept of free will enters the scene. Consider a simple organism adapting to its environment. The choices it makes, the paths it follows, are not purely random nor strictly determined. They're the result of a sophisticated dance between the organism and its environment. The organism is not merely reacting, it's actively navigating its world, making choices that shape its future. This is exactly the process of evolution, where species adapt and evolve based on the choices they make and the challenges they encounter. So, in a sense, evolutionary processes do exhibit a form of free will. Evolution is not random, it is a sophisticated dance with the environment. Can a plant or a computer have free will? This question might seem far-fetched, but let's delve into it. Free will is more than just a product of consciousness, it's a result of complexity. A complexity that can be found in all living systems and even in artificial intelligence. Just like animals, plants too show a degree of free will in their growth and response to the environment. They adapt, they make choices, they evolve. Their actions, though perhaps not conscious, are sophisticated responses to environmental stimuli, reflecting a form of decision-making process, a form of free will. Similarly, consider a complex computer system equipped with the right algorithms. It can generate, test, and select the best solutions from a mix of random and existing ones, much like our brains do. This is an evolutionary process, a form of free will. Could we then, in theory, attribute free will to AI? The short answer? Yes. Free will is just a product of complexity and proper algorithms. Is the universe deterministic or quantum? This question has puzzled philosophers and scientists alike for centuries. In classical physics, the deterministic view holds sway. It proposes that if we knew the position and momentum of every particle in the universe at a given moment, we could predict the future with absolute certainty. But this view encounters a stumbling block with the many-body problem, where calculating outcomes becomes an impossible task as complexity increases. Imagine trying to predict the movement of every single grain of sand in a desert storm. It's a problem of such enormity that it's practically incalculable. And then there is the fundamental randomness of quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics, with its wave-particle duality and wave functions setting up probabilities, paints a picture of a universe that is far from deterministic. So, what does this mean for us, for our understanding of the universe? It means that the universe will not repeat itself exactly. It is quantum, not deterministic. Is randomness a threat to free will? This question often sparks heated debates, especially in the context of quantum fluctuations. Some argue that these random quantum events in our brain might lead to random thoughts, thereby undermining our cherished notion of free will. But let's take a step back and consider the role of randomness in evolution. Evolution is an algorithmic process that thrives on randomness. It uses random mutations to generate a variety of life forms, some of which survive and reproduce, while others perish. This survival of the fittest, driven by randomness, has led to the complex biodiversity we see today. Now, let's apply this to the concept of free will. Our brain, like evolution, generates a plethora of thoughts, some random, some based on previous experiences. It tests these thoughts, discards the unfit ones, and retains the best. This process, akin to an internal evolutionary algorithm, shapes our decisions. Randomness is not an enemy of free will, but rather its catalyst. How do we exercise our free will? We do so in a constant evolutionary-like process. Our decisions, influenced by our internal models and value systems, are not simply the result of external stimuli or random events. They are the product of a dynamic, ongoing process that shapes and reshapes our consciousness. Consider our minds as a workshop where ideas are continuously forged, tested, and refined. This mental work, both conscious and subconscious, drives the evolution of our individuality. Every decision we make, no matter how insignificant it may seem, reflects who we are. Our personalities, the unique combination of our experiences, values and aspirations, act as the filter through which we perceive the world and make choices. These choices, in turn, shape our lives, our relationships and our societies. So the next time you are faced with a decision, remember this. It is a precious opportunity to exercise your free will, to sculpt your consciousness, and to express your individuality. Our decisions are our responsibility, a reflection of our individuality. That would do this time. Until the next time, goodbye.